They told me no, go. You're gonna pay on Tuesday. Now I drink my head. I'm moving to the other side 'cause I don't care. Just I come I'm moving to the other side 'cause I don't care. Just remember
Hey everyone, so I figured it was long overdue and it was time for me to share my actual Lyme story. I'm not sure if you might be able to hear my sister in the back. I just hyped her up from all that dancing. But I'm not sure, depending on how long this goes, I might break it up into like 2 videos probably. But so I'll dive right into it. So like growing up, I was like a pretty healthy kid. I'd have like random like aches and pains and stuff, and like the whole I'm sick before school thing. But besides that, I was pretty much like always healthy. I went to public school up until high school, and then for high school I went to a Catholic school to play hockey. Hockey was like huge in my family, so of course I had to do it too. I used to be a dancer, but then I switched over to hockey when I was, I think, 13 or 12 maybe. So I was going to, it's called Mount St. Charles. It's in Rhode Island where I live. And I started playing hockey there, and I also got into cross country and track. So I was a super active kid. I was always very, I don't know, maybe like weight conscious too, but that's like a whole nother story. But so I was playing sports, and I think it kind of like, I guess, all started like my freshman year. I was like getting like sicker and sicker, and I first started seeing different doctors because I had really bad migraines, but migraines run it on my mom's side. Like my mom has migraines, my grandmother, all my aunts. So they figured it was just like genetics, whatever. I tried literally every migraine medication out there pretty much that you can try, and literally nothing works for me. And they were all just kind of like, well, like, I don't know what to tell you, do a migraine diet, are you working out, are you drinking enough water, you're probably just stressed. So then they started treating me for anxiety and depression, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really come from not a close-knit family, but like I don't know, the best family. I don't know. I don't have a relationship with my dad, so that was always, I guess, a stressor for me. But I mean, I think I coped with it pretty well. It is what it is type thing. But so they started treating me for anxiety and depression, were putting me on all different medications. I have literally tried every single SSRI for, I think that's what they're called. SSRIs, maybe. I don't know. I'm sure somebody will call me out if I'm wrong. But tried all those. Nothing helped. I went to therapy. That didn't help for me either. And even like the therapist, she was so nice, thank God. But she was like, you don't really seem like an anxious person or really like depressed. And I don't know, but I like took everything that she said, and I don't know, did the whole journal writing thing and speaking up for myself thing and blah blah blah. and still nothing was helping. So they started doing like MRIs and all of that other stuff. And I do have a small pineal cyst, but it's pretty much stayed the same size. So we just watch it every year. I'm not really planning to do anything about it. But so that came up in an MRI, but they were like, well, we'll just leave that and watch it. They ran like all different types of like testing and everything, and pretty much things came back fine, I guess. So they started to tell me that it was just all in my head, and some doctors were, you just want attention, you're a hypochondriac. But things just like kept getting worse, and I knew that something was wrong with me. And so fast forward a little bit, but I went to nursing school, and granted, I didn't graduate, but I don't know, I have like a decent grasp on it all. So like having that be something that I was always interested in growing up, I would say, I don't know, I just had like good knowledge about it all, and I knew that something was wrong with me, and I wasn't going to take no for an answer pretty much. It's really, really, really important to advocate for yourself, and I'm sure I'll talk about that again later, but yeah, a little side note. So everything just started getting worse. I was having panic attacks at school every single day, and thank God I was so close with like one of my vice principals, and I mean, I guess like all the teachers, whatever. But so they were really helpful, but there was this one specific teacher of mine, my English teacher, and I still talk to him to this day. He is, I swear, like an angel on earth, but he was always, being like an advocate for me as well, saying that, something is definitely wrong with you, and he just saw me change like dramatically, and he was always like pressing like, you should go to Boston Children's Hospital or see a different doctor. So it's probably like a huge thanks to him that I'm still here today, because I ended up going misdiagnosed for over, like probably like about 10 years or so. We don't know really when I ever did contract Lyme disease, but I didn't like have like a tick bite, any rashes or anything like that, but I feel like I'm jumping ahead of myself. So I was seeing my childhood neurologist, and she thankfully believed in me as well, and she ended up testing me for Lyme disease, because for like weeks I was complaining about my elbow being swollen, and I was like, it hurts so bad, like icing it isn't helping, nothing. And because I was like a hockey player and everything, they were like, oh, you probably just like got in a fight, or hit your elbow on the boards, or you fell, or something like that. But I was like, no, like I really don't remember doing that. And another thing, you probably can hear my sister. She's laughing at me talking to myself right now. But so, I feel like I was doing good with this, and now I don't remember what I was talking about. Well, like, so symptoms leading up to me getting, that's my mom texting me now, but symptoms leading up to me getting diagnosed were definitely the migraines, the anxiety and depression, which I'll admit I definitely struggle from, but it's more of an effect of the Lyme disease. It's not like I'm clinically depressed or anything. But so the migraines, the anxiety, the depression, the panic attacks, I was having memory problems, super bad cognitive problems. It was, I think, maybe my sophomore year. I was always an A student, and then I just like, my grades just like plummeted, and that was when we were kind of like, okay, something is wrong. But so that stuff, and like stomach problems, just like really bad nausea and everything, lack of appetite. I'm a tiny person, I guess. I mean, I'm tall, but like slender, is that the word? And I never really like gain weight or anything like that. I would lose weight a lot. A lot of like joint and muscle pain and stuff. And yeah, that's what like I remember right now. But so my neurologist, who was treating me for years for the migraines and the anxiety and the depression, she was the one that ended up testing me for Lyme disease, and she was like, oh my God, Michaela. She has like this really cute accent. I still see her to this day because my sister actually sees her as her doctor. But I was here where I live now at my grandma's house, and I was outside with my sister actually, and my neurologist called me and she was like, oh my goodness, you have Lyme disease. We have to get you treated right away. So she called in the script for doxycycline, which is super typical for a Lyme disease treatment. And it was, I think I was on it for 2 weeks. Either 2 weeks or 21 days. I don't know, somewhere in between there. That's what she prescribed me, and it made me so sick. Like, I couldn't take it without vomiting. It was horrible. But so I did that, and here comes Crystal. Crystal, you're coming over here. Come here, come say hi. So anyways, I did the doxycycline the first round, and a lot of doctors and like the CDC, for example, believe that that's all you need, and they think that anything past the 14 to 21 days of doxycycline is just unnecessary and you're fine. So I did my first round. This is Crystal, my sister. Wave hi. Good job. She's nonverbal. But so stop distracting me. I'm trying to do this. She wants my mom's birthday balloon. Maybe after. Okay, so I did my first dose of doxycycline and it didn't do a thing, and I actually started getting a lot worse. And I think after I was done with my first dose, I went and saw my PCP, and she was great, thank goodness, too. She was actually the person who set me up with my Lyme doctor I've been seeing ever since I was diagnosed. But so my PCP ended up putting me on the doxycycline again, and I ended up repeating the doxy three or four separate times. Excuse me, and I was still getting worse, so they were like, what the heck is going on? And that is when my PCP contacted my Lyme doctor, and she has a waiting list for months out, but it was just by chance, I guess, that I ended up getting into her that week, actually. So it was May 2013 that I was finally diagnosed, and then by August 2013 was when I saw my Lyme doctor. So I guess that's just kind of like the background, and I feel like this video is already getting a little bit too long, and I don't want to bore you guys, so stay tuned for the next one.